Crafty friends, it's Sheree. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel, Turquoise Dreaming. I'm here to do a little crafting, making of ephemera. So, uh, you know, settle in with me and do some crafting if you like, or just turn my channel, keep my channel on while you're doing whatever, and I can keep you company here. So, I'm working with some bird pages, and let's see what else. I think if we have time, those and some of these little birthday cards, these little retro birthday cards that I picked up recently. So those I'd like to work with. Let me show you what I did at work this week. So what I've been doing in the last couple weeks, it seems, is I did a little series. I've been doing a little series of each journal I'm working on, start to finish. And then when I finish, I have a couple days left in the week where I've been, by the time I finish with that journal, I have either scraps or just something I want to make ephemera out of. And so that's what I've been doing, the journal, and then one or two ephemera videos. And then I just started, for the first time since I started my YouTube channel, I've been doing a video. At first, when I first started my channel, I didn't do a video every day. But pretty quickly after I, started my channel and I was doing videos, 2 or 3 or 4 times a week, I started doing the videos every day. And I've been doing that for a long time now. And I've been thinking about taking Sundays off, like that Sunday's my day off. And so I've been doing that the last couple weeks, and I've kind of really enjoyed taking Sundays off. And that doesn't mean I take Sundays off, actually. I don't know. But it does seem like it takes some pressure off where I don't have a video on Sunday. And that I feel like it gives me time to do what I need to do around my house and, crafting wise, and make some videos, whatever. Anyway, it's having a good effect, I think. So anyway, so I wanted to start off this one by showing you what I did on my lunch break this week. So I did similar to what I did last week. I showed you bingo cards and these little old 1954, 1955 grocery store receipts that I've been backing. So I still had some more of those, and I still have some more that I'm still working on. But yeah, I'm still backing those on my lunch break because I have so many of those. And some of them I am not backing, like I went through them, or some of them I'm backing and I'm not sewing around them. So I'm just going through them and deciding what I want to do with them. Do I want to back them? If I back them, do I want to sew around them? And I'm just going through them all and getting those done. I think I might be done with the bingo cards, but I still have more of these receipts that I want to sew around and finish off backing. But these are the ones, some of the ones I finished this week, and I did do a little decorating. I took, just like I said in my video, just a few things to work. Like I already had these backed, and then I took a package of washi stickers. I took some washi tape, and then this was another package of little papery ephemera. So I could put, 3 different pieces on each one. So I decorated all of these with a little collage on some of these backed grocery store receipts. And then as I was going through them, I decided to leave some without any decoration on them because I think it's really interesting to be able to look at them and read. Pretty much, these are pretty readable. You can understand you can read the writing. It's pretty good writing, so you can understand most of what is written on these. So I thought it was pretty interesting to be able to see what was being bought and the prices, type of thing. And I think a lot of these are from the same, the receipt went to the same person. So, and I think she had some kind of running credit with the store, if you know what I mean. Like, it wasn't a credit card, or it wasn't it's just probably a mom and pop grocery store. And they kept a rolling credit for her as far as what she could pay for, and then put $10 on her credit, and then she'd have to make payments on that, I think. That's the only thing I could figure out here with some of the ones where she didn't pay the full price, like paid $10 or $34.20. She paid $10. Her balance is $24.20. So yeah, he only made her, or they, whoever owned the store, made her pay for. She paid for part of it and then got credit on the rest, and then probably somehow made payments to them. But that was, you know, that was in 1954, 1955, probably before a lot of people had even had credit cards, or, you know, things like that. I guess they had credit cards back then. I don't really know. I wasn't born then. So I wouldn't have a credit card back then. I have to ask my parents. But yeah, so that's how it was, I guess, at least in a small town here in North Carolina. I didn't live here then. I didn't live in North Carolina then, or I wasn't even born then. So what the craft I'm doing today, see, so I did those on my lunch break. And then whoops, I'm moving my table around. And then I want to show you what I was just doing just now. So the other thing I'm working with is these pages that I have left from the Bluebird of Happiness journal. And I had some pages that are like separated. So like, you know, instead of 2 pages together, they're separated. So what I decided to do is make them into some journal cards. That was my first thought. And so I wanted to go ahead and do that and just make sure they're ready for when I want to use them. And I went through first my scrap box and pulled out scraps that I thought you could write on. So I have these 2 backed with this paper, and the front looks like this, so pretty. And this is the actual page, size of the pages. I just rounded the corners. This was a quote. These 2 are just quotes, and I backed these actually with an end page. See the natural aging and distressing? I didn't add any ink to these. That is from one end page that I was able to get back 2 of these little pages with it. And I had it sitting here in back of me with my scraps. And I was like, oh, finally, I'm going to use it. So there they are. There it is, finally. Here's another one. This I backed with. I thought this would be cool right in between the lines, the darker purple lines, you know. So that one's ready to go. And then I was thinking, well, I have a few more here that are separated. And I was looking at the rest of these because I kind of have to, on some of them, decide which side I'm going to back, you know, and which side I'm going to keep. Like this one, I would keep the birds and put backing on here. So those are all one single page. But then I think most of the rest of these are still together. Quite a few here. So on these, I thought I would like to make a few little booklets, you know. So this one, I want the floral, or the birds or whatever, mostly on the outside. So, I mean, I guess it could be on the inside. Like, that could be the outside, and then the inside would be pretty. Yeah, that's true. So I have to decide that as I'm going through them. So I have quite a few here, like that. Just see, well, these 2 are apart. Let's see, so are they all apart? Yeah, so quite a few though. So I was starting to just fold. I have also in my scraps some coffee dyed paper. Then they're all cut-offs from coffee dyed paper. So all of these were, you know, these were 8.5 by 11, and all these pieces were cut off. So I had put them in my scraps. So I was folding them in half. I have all of these folded in half. And I thought I would just put like 2 of these papers in each one. So each one, by the time you put 2 in each one, you get, you know, they're folded in half, and you get 4 pages or 8 sides. So I thought that would be a nice little booklet to make with these little pages, and be able to put that little booklet into a journal. And it's something simple and easy you can make, but something that is really pretty and also very practical for a journal, right? You know, and it doesn't take up really any bulk. And so I just really like stuff like that you can make. I think it has a big impact because it's so cute and so pretty. But then it's so usable, you know what I mean? It's just not, it doesn't have any problem being flat and being able to put it into a pocket or an envelope or a tuck spot. And it's something that can be used, not just pretty, you know what I mean? Not just, you know, so pretty that you don't want to, I mean, it's so pretty, but there's some things that I'm sure you don't feel like you can't really use it for anything because it's just, I don't know, there's too much stuff on it or something. So I just thought this would be fun too. And then I don't have the, you know, I want to go ahead and use them too. So they're not, you know, I just finished that Bluebird of Happiness journal last week. And let me see if these fit in here. Yeah, there we go. There's our 2 pages for the first one. So then there are easy ways to bind a little notebook, and I'm sure you all have seen all the different ways. You can staple them, you can just tie a little string around, which I have done, and you can, I'm trying to think of all the ways. Here's my needle, here's some thread. This is a little bag of embroidery floss I'm trying to use up. It's kind of like scrap embroidery floss. So there's this blue one. Doesn't have too much left on it. Let's see if we can go ahead and use that one up. I probably should, let's see. I probably should not even worry about which one I'm going to put this on, but look at this one. Look at those birds. They have beautiful bright blue heads. I think I'm going to save this thread for this one. Although I could easily use it on this one. I just want to save it for that one. Okay, so what else do I have in here? Black, green, and purple. Let's go with the green. With a little piece of yellow, that's probably too small. Yeah, that looks like it's too small. There's a tiny piece there. Oh, here's a piece of green. I can use this one. This should be big enough. Let's use this one up. Yes. Oh, it is a nice color for this. Oh, there's a knot right in the middle. Well, we might not be using this. Let's see. Can we get the knot out? Or is it a knot? It's not really a knot. It's just a piece of string or fuzz on there or something. Okay, cool. And see, it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So it's more than 3 lengths. So that's good. And usually I have to use, bring it over here. Where is it? Here. Oh, it's right here in front of me. Right here in front of me. Did you see it laying there? It was right here. So, yeah, this is my needle threader. So, usually I'll just use my needle threader with thread like this. And I don't even have to really use my pokey tool or my awl, which is its actual name. Pokey tool is not its actual name. But, okay, let's put this yellow one to the side because that one, too small. So, yeah, so I don't really have to use my awl. I can just use my needle and be done. But this is my favorite way. My whole point of saying all that was about the different ways to bind is that I really just like just doing a quick little 3 pamphlet stitch. And I just think it looks so pretty. And I do like a little booklet like this, just a pretty little booklet like this. Just, and leave plenty of string on your first, first hole. Leave a good sized tail because I want to tie a bow when it's all said and done. So we're just going to do a quick little pamphlet stitch, and this is what I'll do on all these. And I just think that looks pretty. It's pretty quick. I mean, a staple would be faster, but it certainly wouldn't be prettier. So just do a quick little pamphlet stitch, and you've got a pretty little booklet that somebody can do some journaling in, you yourself, or if you're making a journal to sell, or if you are giving a journal to someone that they could journal in here. And it just makes a cute little writing space. And I'm using up these pages. and making something really pretty and practical. So then you just tying it off. So when I wanted the bow on the outside, so I started on the outside. And then the last time I made these, I showed you or mentioned that I will, so that this doesn't come in untied, being that it's on the outside, maybe it could get accidentally pulled on or something and come untied. So I will tie a little knot here. Take my two little bow pieces and just tie a knot in that also. That way that's not going to come untied. So there we go. Cute little birdie booklet, using up pages, and see how pretty it is on the inside too. And you got a little poem or quote on the back there. Looks like maybe a little poem. So cute, right? So let's make a couple more of those. So let me know in the comments if you're crafting with me. I think that's always fun to know. Yeah, so and I get to use up these bird pages and this scrap coffee dyed paper that I had in my my scraps. Always good to use up a few, and nice and satisfying to know that, you're not just adding to your scraps, you're also using some. Because you know how fast they build up. Need about a 1/4 of an inch off of this here. So my paper cutter's right here. So, and then I have to put these inside of each other. I should have already done that. So that this one inside's not too big, but I think we're all right. Let's see. So this one has a quote and a poem, or two quotes, whatever they are. Franklin Roosevelt there. Franklin Roosevelt. And another quote over here. So it's going to have two quotes on the inside, and I'll leave the pretty birdie pictures on the outside. Okay, and this one, let's see what thread we have left here. We have some red. I would love to use up that. Oh, nope, that is too small. Okay, I'll put that with the yellow one. And here's a pink one that is also too small. Okay, what else do we have left? Now we just have green. I have that one blue one I put aside. That one's probably long enough for that. Well, let's do that one next, actually. Hold the phone. We'll do this one next. These pages are all the same size, so, the bird pages, they're all the same size. Yeah, let's do this one next with the blue. Because you probably wanted to see how that looked, right? Yeah, I do. Okay, and this is plenty long enough. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've got more pink here too, by the way. This little thing has pink on it. So if we need pink, like that would look good with that one. But this little bluebird with its blue head is going to look really cute with this blue thread. Okay, my needle's right here. My needle threader. Just put this in here. Put this through here. Get this done quick, lickety split. So I do watch, oh no wait, I want to go on to, this is okay if you start on the inside, and it's actually kind of nice if you get your hole going on from the inside and then you can turn it around. Because sometimes it's a little hard to get through, how this is kind of like a pointy fold there. It's kind of hard to get right on the fold. So if you poke it from the inside, because it's easier to poke in this groove or that fold. And then if you go ahead and poke through this side, then it's easier to get back on the outside and poke your thread through, or your needle through, and start sewing from the outside. Did that make sense? I hope so. I'll say it again on the next one in case it didn't make sense when I actually do it. I mean, I kind of did just do it, but I explained it to you after I did it. I didn't do it on purpose. I just happened to do it, and then I thought I would mention that. But let me hold my tail out of the way here. My little embroidery thread tail. Alright, and then, so it's just 2 papers. You can put more in if you want. But like I said, I wanted to keep these nice and flat, but still have them be little booklets. And the ones that are single page, I'll back those. I'll still back those and make those into journaling cards. And those I'm rounding the corners. Did you notice? These I'm not rounding the corners on the little booklets, but these pages here that are single that I backed, I rounded the corners. I wasn't going to. I didn't plan on it, but then after I backed them, I was like, you know how I am. I looked at them and I said, those might look better with rounded corners. And sure enough, they did. Then I had to do them all. Of course. That's how it is. Okay, there we go. Oh, well, that string's way too long. Well, let me tie my knot, make sure I have enough for that. My little knot in the bow. So I just take my 2 little bunny ears there, and I was wondering yesterday, I was at playing with my granddaughter, and I was like, I wonder if she's ready to learn how to tie her shoes. She's only 4, and I was like, look, this is how you tie your shoe. And I started to tie my shoe. I showed her the one way, like, the regular way where you tie, and then I showed her the bunny ear way. But she was not interested at all. Like, she had no interest at all in learning how to tie your shoes. And if she's not interested, you're not going to get anywhere. So, I guess she's not ready yet to learn how to tie her shoes. And she doesn't wear shoes. She was tying I was showing her on my shoes. I had my shoes on. She didn't have any shoes on. Because she was, in her house, and she doesn't wear shoes in the house. I mean, I only had shoes on because I was in her house, and we usually take our shoes off when we go in the house, but I didn't. I never got around to it, so I never did. So I was trying to show her on my shoes because she was messing around with my shoes. I thought, oh, maybe she wants to learn how to tie shoes. Nope. She did not want to learn how to tie shoes. I kind of I think I kind of tend to do that a little bit, which is okay, I think, when you try to teach kids things before they're ready. I mean, sometimes they'll surprise you, and they will do it, maybe ahead of time type of thing, you know what I mean? Before maybe, the age that maybe they do that type of thing. Because I always did that. Even my mom had my youngest brother when I was 10. And so I was like my youngest brother's second mom because I loved having a baby brother. And I loved taking care of him and feeding him and changing his diapers and all that. I really did. I mean, I don't know if I changed too many of, messy diapers, but I don't really remember that. Probably just put it out of my mind. But anyway, I remember I would be like, I wanted to feed him and drink, have him drink out of a cup, or feed him with a spoon, and, have him hold the spoon, and just things like that. Maybe he wasn't quite ready for it, but I would be like, let me have him hold a spoon. Let me, give him a cup, before my mom was letting him have that kind of stuff. So I'd be like, and my mom would be like, he's not ready for that. He's too young. But I would do it anyway. And I think it ended well. Like, I think he actually, caught on quick because I was pushing him, type of thing. Big sister was pushing him. But I didn't mean to push him or anything. I just thought he looked like he could do it. You know what I mean? So, okay, we got 2 more pages ready for this one. This one looks like it wants green, and I happen to have green, so that's good. Oh, there's a short one. Yeah, so I kind of guess I don't know if I did that with I think I I don't think I pushed my kids. I just, you know, you kind of recognize when they're ready for stuff, and you let them do it or whatever. If they want to hold a cup, you let them hold a cup, right? Let them hold a spoon, whatever they want to do. Even if it's early before they're, you know, maybe before you think they're ready. You know, you know how they have all the charts these days and things. Oh, they do this at this age, they do this at that age. Well, you can't always go by that because some kids do it earlier and some kids do it a lot later, but I kind of like to push it. Let's see, where's my needle? I don't like to push it, I guess. But, you know, if they're not ready, like she was clearly not ready for tying her shoes. So we'll try again later. She'll do it when she wants to do it. When she's ready, she'll be interested. She likes to pick out her own clothes, I know that. If my daughter-in-law tries to put clothes on her that she doesn't want to wear, she's not having it. Has to be, well, her number one color is pink, so if it's not pink, she's going to have a hard time with it. And then if it's like when she was in my youngest son's wedding, she was the flower girl, and they, of course, had her wearing this frilly dress. Okay, so I'm poking a hole here, is what I was saying before. Poke a hole here on the inside of the fold because it's easy. It's harder to poke a hole on this triangle tip fold here. Poke a hole here, and then it's easy because you already have the hole. You're just now coming over here and putting it through the hole. That's what I said before, but I didn't know if it was clear, so I'm repeating it. But yeah, she did not like that frilly dress. I mean, she's a girly girl. She likes, you know, she likes tutus, and she is a girly girl, little girly girl. But for some reason, it was a long frilly dress. I don't know if it was scratching her. I don't know what the deal was, but she did not like that dress. So it was all my daughter-in-law could do to get her in it and get her to walk down the aisle in it. And then she immediately had to go and change her clothes. Like, we barely got any pictures of her in it because she was not having that dress. She's not wearing that dress any 1 second longer than she had to. And she changed into something comfortable for the reception, and had a good time running around. But she was only 3 then. She was 3, so she was 3. She was just not quite 4 yet. Well, they've been married a year. Was she 4 and she hadn't turned 5 yet? Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, she was. I guess she was 4 and hadn't turned 5 yet. Is that right? Anyway, she was young. I mean, she's still young. She's 4 years old. She's just barely not a baby. She's a little girl now. 4-year-old toddler, I guess you could say. Okay, I'm talking too much and not really focusing on what I'm doing. I'm tying a bow. Okay, I'm going to focus now. Back to my craft. Stop talking, Sheree. So I think these are really cute. So we're going to go over to the cards now. We've made a few of these, and I want to make a lot more, but we're, of course, not going to make them all on video, but you get the picture. I'm just kind of using up stuff. This is just a way to use up your stuff. Go ahead and use it for something. Don't let it sit around. So we made 3 little, I mean, these are going to be super cute in pockets, right? In a journal, a little bird. Notebooks with some coffee dyed paper. So cute. Here's the last one we did. It has quotes on the inside and a pretty little birds. This is the one. This is a robin. There's one with the yellow on it, and then the blue-headed one. Okay, so now I got a lot more of those to do. All these booklets to make, and these are single pages, and if I want more single pages, I can always cut these and make them into single pages. So that is a project I can work on actually at work if I want to. Let's put those aside. I still need my needle and my thread for the next one. Let's do a couple of these. So same thing. I do have my copy dyed paper. I have some picked out for these already because some of it was smaller. I didn't cut these yet. They were just, when I folded them, they were not as wide as some of the others. They were just smaller cutoffs, so I saved them for these. And that happens to be pretty much the exact size. I want just a sliver off. I'm going to take a sliver off the top. It has a nice shading on the bottom here. Let me take a sliver off the top because I feel like I just need a little leeway there so that it doesn't pop out at the top. Okay, so there's my two papers for that one. And then this one's this one's a little bigger, a little bit larger than the last one. So this is going to need a little bit off the top and a little bit off the side on this. Let me put them together like I said though, and I can make sure it's all the right size. So it was about almost 1/4 of an inch off the top and the side of this one. So I'm glad to be using up all of these things and using all these things. Because I just got these and I don't want, I kind of thought they would be cute, you know, just like they are because, you know, lots of journaling room on the inside and they're super cute retro little cards. But I thought if I go ahead and make a couple into booklets, that would also be fun. So let's see. We've got, let's use black. He's got black pants on and black lettering. And this one, let's use, there's no purple in here. I wish there was, but so I'll use green on this one. Okay, so, yeah. Is there, I was just wondering, is there a color that you all have, anyone that's watching or watches this video, is there a color in that you have trouble using in your crafting? Like, let me know in the comments. I don't think there's any color that I have trouble using, but I was kind of wondering if other people have trouble using colors. And I know I hear some people say, why do I keep doing that? That's not what they say. Some people say there are certain colors they don't like, so they really don't use those colors. So it's not that you don't, it's not a color you don't like, it's really a color that you have trouble using. Like say, do you have trouble using black, or do you have trouble using white, you know, or I don't know. I just make all kinds of journals as far as, you know, colorful and vintage where you might not use so much color. So I don't have trouble using any colors. Okay, I'm doing my hole on the inside. And then I'll poke it out here. I'll do the same with these. Have my bow on the outside. I just think that's cute for little booklets to have your bow on the outside. And these, as you can see, my needle goes through there very easily, so no trouble as far as that goes with, you know, having to use an awl before I use my needle. I just use my needle, poke it right through, and only having two papers in here helps with that. Okay, I'm trying not to get my tail caught up here. There we go. And I'm keeping the thread nice and tight. So, yeah, I think these are cute too. So I'll have these ready for whatever journal they're appropriate for. Really been making a lot of ephemera, to tell you the truth. I was trying to use up my ephemera that's already made, and now I've made a lot more. I have used up a lot, but now I've made a lot more. The bingo cards, and let's see what else. I have a lot of book page ephemera, you know, tags and that I've made, and whew. But I love to make ephemera too, so it's hard. It's a hard thing, but at least I've got a lot ready, right? got a lot ready, so I don't have to make a lot as far as per journal. You know what I mean? I can look through, and I usually have things to go with it. But I do still make some specific. Sometimes I still do make specific, especially if I'm using up like stickers from a scrapbook collection kit, or you know, cut aparts, things like that. This one's a little bit long there. So there's the first card, little booklet. And I would just leave it just like that so that there's plenty of writing room. Now these don't have any decoration on the inside cover, so that can be writing room. And then you also have the pages. So nice, right? There's the first little card, and then here's the second one that we're going to use green thread. So I've used up quite a few things. Use 2 things that could possibly be sitting around if I didn't use them, and then use this thread that I'm trying to use up, and this paper. Okay, so I did 3, right? And that, where's my middle? Okay, I get my thread ready here. This needle thread I got at a thrift store, so, but it's a great little needle threader. I've never looked online for this, anything like this, but it's the best needle threader. It doesn't, I know I've had the other ones with the little silver thing on it, and they break pretty easily. So on this one, I love this one so much I don't want it to break, so I'll be extra careful with it and try to I'll hold on to this part. If I'm pulling really hard on something, I'll hold on to this part right here so it doesn't break. But it does seem a lot stronger though than the ones with the little silver piece that you hold on to. If you have, you know, those are pretty standard and common, because I have had a lot of those and they've all broken. So okay, doing it again. Hold on this side, and then poke it through. This is a good little starting point there. Okay, and I leave enough tail so I can tie a bow. If you don't care about tying a bow, you don't have to leave so much thread out here. I almost sound like I'm getting hoarse. Maybe I've been talking a lot on video today. I've been doing a few videos today. So, get them ready for the week. All right, and I think you can, if you have any questions about any of this, just let me know. I think you can see everything I'm doing. So it's pretty, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, just let me know. I would either answer you in the comments or on a video. And I have been experimenting a little bit more with the binder, you know, the binder journals that I made where I put in the new mechanism in a book. I really was experimenting some more with that. So that's why I didn't mean to cut that off. But I wanted to tell you that's why I haven't done a video on that yet. But I'm just about ready. I'm just about done with my experimentation, I think. But I had to try a few different ways of doing that, so I could tell you, when I tell you how I'm doing it, the best way that I have found and the best way that I like doing it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to tell you like whatever I did was the best way to do it and not really know if I only tried one way. You know what I mean? So when I do my video, I can tell you from experience and experimenting what worked best for me. All right, so we did 2 of these. I could do these all day, right? 2 of these and 3 of these. So I've got all of these ready now. And this would be something really easy to do for mobile crafting if you're going on a trip or you work like I do and you have an hour lunch break, or even you can make one or two of these in a half an hour, I think. I do have a paper cutter at work, so that does help me, but you can cut the papers with your scissors. You don't have to have a paper cutter. And, make a few of these on your trip, or if you have some downtime, or you're sitting around not doing anything, just waiting for whatever is happening next. It's a good time. Or if you're watching TV at night or something and you want something to do, there you go. Make some little simple, little cute, adorable little booklets like this. Like I said, simple but very practical. So I'll see you in my next video, and I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you then.